An airship floats high above the ocean. Gracefully, it touches the heavens, conjuring images of future enlightenment. The craft approaches a giant tower, a tower that touches the sky, but also reaches down into the ocean, down into depths so deep we could only imagine what we'd find there. This imagery, whether you realize it consciously or not, evokes from the very start ideas of reaching enlightenment by first going into the deepest depths. Do I mean the dark place of our minds and subconscious, or some darkness of our past we'd like to forget? The dungeons of this game represent both and much more besides. Come with me as we explore these ancient symbolic caves and the philosophy of Mega Man Legends. When I first played a Mega Man game, I was no older than 4 or 5 years old. Each level had a boss. You beat a boss and you gain their powers to use for the rest of the game. Those powers would help you get through the levels, sometimes very specific parts of the level, and they would help you defeat one of the other bosses. Then, when you defeat all of the bosses, you unlock the endgame, a mad dash through Dr. Wily's castle and a huge showdown where you have to fight all of the previous bosses but with one single life. After all of this, you then face off against Dr. Wily in his giant flying machine. Once beaten, you think you've won the game. However, he escapes in his UFO-like escape pod into his hidden underground hideout. This hideout is so deep underground, they represent you falling into this massive cave hole for 4 separate screens. As you walk through this cave, for the first time, there is no music. There's only the sound of strange red water dripping from the cave ceilings. I can't emphasize enough how on edge walking through this area made me feel as a small child. Then, as you emerge from the familiar boss door, you find yourself in a pitch-dark room. Wily's ship appears, and when he emerges, his body slowly transforms into that of a hideous alien. As silly or hackneyed as this twist might seem as an adult in 2025, as a small child that was already scared of the sheer difficulty of this game, not to mention already scared of being abducted by aliens, it sent chills up my spine. I fired everything I had at him, going through my entire arsenal of weapons before dying a horrible death. Of course, as gamers now know, the only way to harm the alien is to use the weakest weapon in the entire game, the bubble attack. But at the time, it felt like there was no way to win. It was so creepy that I didn't want to try again. Eventually, I did harden my resolve, and I went back and found his weakness to the bubble attack. I reached down into the darkness of the game, and I found my own subconscious fears manifest, and I overcame them. I should note that all throughout the time I was playing Mega Man 2, my parents were getting a divorce. So for me, there was a lot of emotion bottled up and unleashed into this game. It was in this backdrop that Mega Man became the first game that I ever beat. That ending theme, and the entire soundtrack for that matter, still affect me deeply to this day because of how much the experience of making it through this game, all on my own, had on me. It is with this history that I approached Mega Man Legends in 1997 as a 9-year-old, an adolescent that wasn't anywhere close to processing all of the pain and trauma of that divorce 4 years before. A kid that felt imprisoned by the school and daycare systems he was forced to be in, by his single mother and absent father, A kid that just wanted some freedom and autonomy, but couldn't understand or describe any of this at the time. So he just played video games instead. Now back to the intro of Mega Man Legends. Mega Man and his support staff of Roll as Spotter, and Gramps as sort of a Dr. Light stand-in.
Oh yeah. The monkey is my spirit animal.
Fly up to this tower in the ocean, and you, as Mega Man, explore the dark subconscious of this strange new world you find yourself in. Ominous and unfeeling robots hide around every corner, and what they guard is the treasure that you seek. After confronting the darkness and making it out with the treasure, Mega Man ascends back to the top of the tower and to the airship. But what he doesn't know is he has brought back some of the darkness with him. Mega Man and the team flee from the Reaverbot, and in so doing, the ship's engines begin to fail, and you fall from the heights of assumed enlightenment down to the humbling earth. What the creators of Mega Man Legends do here is genius. They take you from this magical flying machine in this mysterious tower, and it all goes away, and it's replaced by the simple and the mundane. Specifically, a small town complete with a small town bureaucracy. Now, just like my 9-year-old self, Mega Man is told that he needs a permit from the authorities before he's allowed to go or do anything. This is such a great hook for getting the player now to empathize with Mega Man by making him powerless and out of control. It grounds the world in realism and forces you, in classic Metroidvania style, to see the heights that you can ascend to before immediately bringing you back down to the bottom. So you have something to work towards. Just like in life, we often think we've found a breakthrough only to realize that it shatters everything we thought we knew and forces us to start over. From here, we are quickly introduced to the different factions and archetypes we will be dealing with. We've already met the Reavers, the underground robots, and the Mega Man team, and now we find ourselves forced to deal with the government and the inhabitants of this small island, as well as the rogue pirate faction that acts as Mega Man's foil throughout the game. I'm going to break down these groups and how they relate to Mega Man and each other so that we can see the significance in how the story plays out. I do have to spoil some aspects of the game in order to make sense of these relationships, so be warned, there are spoilers ahead. Starting with the Reavers. Although we don't know exactly where they come from, we do know they are ancient robots designed to protect the underground and its treasures, and we discover on our journey that they also exert some form of control over the humans above when the need arises. What we don't know until the end of the game is that Mega Man is himself one of these Reaverbots. He's a very special and more powerful version, but they are essentially his estranged family. They don't call attention to it until the end of the game, but Mega Man has also no memory of his past life with the Reaverbots, and doesn't find out this truth until the game's climax. This brings us to Mega Man's chosen family, Roll and Gramps.
Don't you worry, though. I'm as healthy as I ever was.
That's a relief. We were worried about you, Gramps.
They form a team whose job it is to explore these underground dungeons to obtain energy crystals and technology, essentially and metaphorically helping Mega Man explore his past and better understand the world and his place in it. We will see many representations of family in this game, and Roll and Gramps are the only healthy and positive representation that we will get. This brings up one of the core themes of this game, the importance of judging your family of origin accurately, and if need be, going a different path, and finding a chosen family that is healthy and supportive, like Roll and Gramps are literally Mega Man's support team. Next, we have the island and the people and government that live and operate there. They act as a stand-in for normal society. They bar Mega Man's path until he follows their arbitrary rules, and they often demand that Mega Man help without giving much back in return. They also have no idea of the true history of their own island, demonstrating a collective amnesia to mirror Mega Man's own amnesia about his past. The underground dungeons here are the physical representation of the hidden past that no one remembers or even really cares to remember. You can even come across a painting in the museum that shows there was a time when people were connected to the truth of the Reaver bots and the underground, but that time is long gone. Lastly, we have the pirates, the Bonds. They're a very fascinating group for many reasons. Their stated goal in the game is to take the key from the city by force that will let them access the underground gates to steal the treasure. On the surface, this seems to set them up as your enemy. However, they never come across as very threatening due to their comedic nature, reminding me a lot of Team Rocket in the original Pokemon.
I can't take my eyes off you for a second, can I? Just you wait till we get back. You're in a lot of trouble. Oh, no.
They are not just a gang, but are an actual family, giving us another example of a family, in this case a toxic family, and due to their access to flying technology and their desire to access the underground, both metaphors for enlightenment and desire for knowledge and self-exploration, they set themselves apart from the normal society of the island, in that they are not happy just accepting the collective amnesia or obeying the bureaucratic red tape that Mega Man is being forced to wade through. Their methods, however, stand in perfect contrast to Mega Man's desire to use positive actions to deal with society, in that they are willing to initiate force and violence against people to make them do what they want. It's not long after Mega Man arrives and has obtained the proper paperwork to access the city that the pirates attack. The local police are essentially useless, little more than the image of protection while doing absolutely nothing to help defend the island. This forces Mega Man to step in and fend off the invasion, and it is very much an invasion, with the initial attack comprising 3 massive boss fights. We also meet and fight the most interesting of the pirates here, Tron. She represents someone very much like Mega Man, in that she questions the methods of her family, of the pirates, and is obviously attracted to the goodness that she sees in Mega Man, exemplified by an early moment when Mega Man saves her from a dog. We see throughout the game a spark within her that wants to separate from her family of origin and that is in love with the virtues that she sees in Mega Man. But she never quite reaches the point where she's willing to make that turn, as in reality, so many can't imagine separating from their toxic family, and often quoting the logical fallacy that says, blood is thicker than water, to excuse away wrongdoings of their blood relations. After these battles, the general flow of the game is set up, with the mayor asking Mega Man to explore the gates and try to find a way to access the legendary main gate before the pirates do, in order to try and avoid the omen coming true about the island being destroyed when the hidden treasure is unearthed. This leads to you, as Mega Man, delving into the dungeons to find treasure and equipment to both upgrade your own abilities and to fix your ship. The progression in this game is very well designed from both a gameplay perspective and with how it ties into the game's main themes. By exploring the underground, you gain movement abilities to both yourself, in the way of higher jumps and jet boots, as well as upgrades to your ability to move around the island by fixing up a boat and eventually your airship. The game does an amazing job of giving you that same feeling you have when you get your first car as a teenager and suddenly the whole world opens up to you. This game does this again and again, with one of the last of such upgrades being a drill arm that lets you finally access all of the underground tunnels that have been blocked for most of the game. Side note, yes, the guy that sells you a boat is Dr. Wily from the original games. I guess in this reality, he isn't evil or a scientist, and he just wants to sell boats in peace. Along your journey, you will fight many giant robots, find a ton of upgrades, and get involved in a few epic fights with the Bonds. Some of the artifacts you find can also be donated to the museum, although it's unclear how much people understand or care to understand the significance of the things that you find underground. The curator will gladly put them on display and give you rankings of rarity, but she seems to just make up on the spot what she thinks these things are, and does no research to truly understand any of it. Like the painting I mentioned earlier, it depicts a blue warrior, obviously Mega Man, fighting a robotic threat while watched over by an all-seeing eye. It sits here on display for everyone to see, but no one pieces together the obvious importance behind this piece of art. I don't think this is here just as a joke either. I think the creators of this game were trying to tell us that most of society doesn't really care to understand their own history, even when that history is already on display for all to see and may hold the key to their own salvation. They will treat it just as a shiny trinket, enjoying the superficial nature of it, while ignoring any meaning beneath the surface. Eventually, you find a way to unlock the main gate and make your way down to the bottom of the deepest dungeon in the game, a massive tower that goes far beneath the surface of the earth. It's here that Mega Man wakes up an ancient evil.
Thank you for awakening me. Have we met before?
Another robot, also named Mega Man Juno. Now, when I first reached this section, I got very strong Lovecraftian vibes, like Cthulhu, and I don't think that's an accident. The intricate and ancient design of these massive tomb-like structures are very eldritch in nature, and on top of that, the 3 gates that you unlock to get here are called Watcher, Sleeper, and Dreamer, which to me are obvious callbacks to Cthulhu, and makes me think of the line, "In his house at Raleigh, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming." When awakened, Juno informs Mega Man that they are both parts of this ancient system, and that Mega Man is known as Trigger.
Oh, please forgive me. You are a purifier model, assigned to the direct command of Mother. As I recall, you are designated Mega Man Trigger. Please forgive me. I did not recognize you in your current configuration.
Implying that Mega Man was supposed to come here to trigger the automatic response that Juno now sets in motion. Mirroring modern conspiracies like global warming and overpopulation, Juno states that there is too much carbon on the surface and it must be removed to reach safer levels.
I assume that your reason for coming here is to purge the carbons that have overpropagated during the time I was inactive.
Carbons? Purge?
He means people, dog.
What are you talking about?
Of course, the carbon he refers to isn't in the air, but is in the people themselves, reminiscent specifically of the Georgia Guidestones, which promoted getting the human population down to under 500 million.
According to Urban Military Security Ordinance A10, the number of carbon units is not allowed to increase beyond the pre-specified limit.
Do you mean the people on the island?
The carbons fit Mass Population Model B. They are unstable, very difficult to control.
These robots were created to keep the population under some set amount and are designed to trigger mass extermination of the humans to get back to an acceptable number. The entire conversation with Juno feels like that of an abusive parent to their child. The eerie calm with which Juno declares the humans must be murdered, and with which he restrains Mega Man when he realizes he's not just gonna allow this murder to take place, strikes me as a classic psychopathic parent punishing his child while claiming, "This hurts me more than it hurts you." This is also where we find that Mega Man's memory loss may not have been an accident. but part of a predetermined plan by Mega Man to separate himself from the control of his robotic family and to foil their plans of killing all of the humans. After you're captured, the Bond pirate family shows up one last time, but this time their goals align with you.
Something tells me he's not kidding either. I really think
They're
he
gonna
plans
end
to
up
kill
helping.
everyone on
That's
the
so
island.
great.
Diesel, we've got to do something. We've got to stop him.
Hey, Tron! How do you stop this thing?
Oh, this? Like this!
They have no desire to see everyone murdered, and now that the treasure they thought they sought was revealed to be the end of the world, Murderbots, they help free Mega Man, allowing you to confront Juno one last time, leading to the final boss fight of the game.
It appears I miscalculated the odds of your ability to escape that trap.
I have to point out, if only in passing, that the main villain of this game turns out to be a New World Order agenda-pushing AI robot with pink hair that shoots rainbows as a main form of attack. I don't know how the developers were able to nail so many things about the New World Order agenda and how that connected with global warming and population control and woke culture way back in 1997, but they were certainly channeling some higher order of truth here. Upon defeating Juno, we find out that the trigger has already been set, and the doomsday weapon, Eden, is about to be unleashed. However, the adorable monkey sidekick, Data, steps in to drop one more twist.
What should I do?
Interrupt command. Priority command rerouted to Purifier First Class Mega Man Trigger. Under suspicion of malfunction, Bureaucratic Model Third Class Juno has been
monkeys were a part of
deactivated
it?
by Mega Man Trigger as per Ordinance 103. Mega Man Trigger hereby requests the indefinite postponement of the previous reinitialization order and the deletion of Bureaucratic Model Juno's backup data.
Apparently, Mega Man has stored his memories in Data on purpose in order to hide his intentions from the robot overlords. Data is able to unleash the command to override the Doomsday weapon and saves the day. I really like when games combine mechanics like saving your game through Data the monkey and story. Data literally having your character's memories in him as he also saves your progress through the game is just pure genius and a lot of fun.
Data?
There's nothing to worry about anymore, Mega Man. Everything should return to normal shortly. I'm your peripheral memory storage device. You originally created me so your memory couldn't be scanned by Mother 2.
So the day is saved, not because Mega Man was stronger and tougher and better at killing the bad guys, although that did help, but because Mega Man chose that he wouldn't side with his family of origin. He chose another path, other than what was given to him by birth. He used external standards to judge right from wrong on his own, and found his fellow robots lacking in morality. In finding a chosen family that supports him and that doesn't support initiating violence as a means to their ends, like the Reaverbots and the Bonds, he has found free will and has saved the world in the process. Because this is the philosophy of Mega Man Legends. Judge right from wrong yourself. Look into the truth and your world's history and make your own conclusions. Don't let family or birth dictate your actions or your place in the world. Don't just take your given family or circumstances as bondage. Choose for yourself who your real family is and what your life path will be. And so Mega Man flies off into the sunset, waving goodbye to the people he has freed, not just from the attacks of the pirates or the machinations of the Reaverbots, but from their ignorance of their own past and their desire to keep the dark places in the dark. Mega Man, by delving into his own past and subconscious, brings a light to the truth that is buried and opens up the sky of possibilities to the people of this world. So what do you think? Have you ever played Mega Man Legends? Did you get something completely different from the story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe. I'm going to be playing a lot of classic games, a lot of new games, streaming them on my channel, as well as creating in-depth analysis and retrospectives and reviews like the one you just watched. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.